Welcome to the Fantasy Forecast. I'm John Romero of the Washington Post. It is week 4 of the NFL season. That means teams are going to be starting their bye weeks. This week, just a couple teams off with the Redskins and the Panthers. But if you're looking for some advice, maybe need a spot start, you can find me on Twitter. My handle is @John_J_Romero. You can also check out my weekly column. Comes out every Friday morning on WashingtonPost.com. Now, a quick recap last week. I advised against playing Larry Fitzgerald. That seemed to be a good move. I said a couple flyers that could be of help to owners in need. That was John Brown, wide receiver for the Ravens, and Corey Clement of the Eagles. Brown, serviceable game, 86 yards, didn't find the end zone, a handful of receptions. And Clement, kind of the same, had about 75 yards total, did have a couple fumbles, and didn't find the end zone. Serviceable. But that's what kind of long shots usually are. So we are going to jump into the fray for this week on the fringe starters, and let's get right to it. So when it comes to guys on the fence, some fringe starters, we're going to start off with Kenyan Drake of the Miami Dolphins. This guy's ADP was 35, so that means he's probably somebody's RB1, RB2 at the very least. It means in 12-team leagues he was taken within the first 36 picks. That means he's somebody's top 3 pick. He's not producing right now. But here's why I'm going to hold out one more week and just hope for the best. I'm hoping maybe for what you saw, maybe what the Seahawks did with Chris Carson last week. Carson had barely had any touches. All of a sudden, he's got 32 carries in week 3. Now, Drake has kind of been in the same situation. Kind of this timeshare with Frank Gore, only getting a handful of touches. Last week was supposed to be a great matchup. Instead, he was completely flat and did absolutely nothing. What's to like in week 4? He's playing the Patriots. Patriots just gave up the first 100-yard rusher by the Detroit Lions in 5 years. So that's something to like. The other thing is Drake had his career day last season against New England, albeit that was at home, and this weekend will be on the road. But I'm going to try it out and let Drake try to give me something in week 4. If he can't do anything this week, it's going to be time to put Drake on the bench. Plain and simple as that. Now, while I'm starting Drake, I am obviously a little anxious about what he's going to do. This next guy, Sterling Shepard, I love the matchup this weekend. I want all owners, I urge you, get Shepard in the lineup if you can. If you've got any guys who have been kind of iffy, I just like Shepard's matchup, and I think it's enough to get him into a wide receiver 2 flex play. The Giants lost tight end Evan Ingram for a few weeks with a sprained MCL, and now they get to face the Saints secondary. New Orleans is giving up points left and right to fantasy wideouts, and I think Beckham and Shepard could both have a very nice day. I'm just thinking that we're going to see a couple extra targets with Ingram out, and that should be enough to be a solid fantasy producer in week 4 for Sterling Shepard owners. So get him in there. Now, who do I like as a lottery ticket, maybe a spot start this weekend? Javorius Allen. So far, he has been very productive for the Ravens. Probably hasn't helped a lot of owners who probably have them on the bench. He's only owned about 50% of leagues, and that's probably seen an uptick in the last week. But he has 4 TDs already this season, 1 through the air, 3 on the ground. He's getting some red zone carries inside the 5 and kind of vulturing some touchdowns from Alex Collins. He's also probably the one they use the most out of the backfield for throwing the ball. Collins is not really a receiver. So the Ravens are utilizing him. He's on the field decent. He's not getting a lot of touches, but he's making the most of those touches. I'm going to expect that to continue at least through week 4. Because the Ravens-Steelers was shaping up to probably be a little more offensive than in years past. Both these defenses aren't quite what they've been. Pittsburgh has been getting moved on pretty regularly by opposing attacks. And so I think Allen's going to have a nice little game this weekend, and he could be a nice spot start for those in need. So with that, it's going to wrap things up here on the Fantasy Forecast. I will be back next week. Again, you can find me on Twitter @John_J_Romero. Good luck this weekend, and we will see you next week on the Fantasy Forecast.